aspects typically associated with a shallow submarine and silica-rich volcanic eruption. The reason I say silica-rich is due to the report of pumice, which while pumice can form from varying compositions of lava, they tend to mostly form in association with lavas within this yellow-shaded compositional range. However, in my opinion, there is a good chance that these non-volcanologists could have mistaken scoria or simple falling tephra as pumice, meaning a far less silica-rich lava composition is also quite possible. In fact, the report of fires on the surface seems to suggest lava fountaining, which is more common in this range of eruption compositions. But, is such a volcano even hypothetically possible in the first place? The report of being a mere 3 leagues or 16.67 kilometers from the shoreline is potentially inaccurate, with some reports noting an unusual raised submarine structure that could be the volcano in question as much as 99 kilometers offshore. Despite being far from a rift-setting active plate boundary, this portion of India's continental rise is experiencing motion which is consistent with a rift basin slowly spreading apart to the northwest and southeast. This could theoretically create a series of lengthy fault lines which act as a path of least resistance that magma could intrude into. In this case, the reported eruption may have occurred on a feature known as the Moyer-Bhavani-Attur lineament. This lineament is visible via a chain of raised topographic features, meaning at a minimum I can't rule out that a volcanic eruption, however unlikely, could have occurred there. However, there is no direct proof that this volcano exists via lava, pumice, or ash samples that can definitively trace its origin to a known area. Thus, I suggest another possibility as more likely, that being a large eruption of a mud volcano, possibility shallow mud volcano that temporarily built an island. While mud volcanoes can be associated with actual volcanoes such as at the Salton Buttes volcano in California where carbon dioxide propels mud upwards due to the heat transferred from underlying magma, they can also form in non-volcanic environments due to the at-depth presence of natural gas deposits. And, what do you know, this very offshore region is a known locality with hydrocarbon reserves that have been noted seeping upwards through faults, primarily via rising methane. All that is needed for the methane to ignite was for a minor electric shock to be generated. In this case, the static electricity could have been generated by either the motion of millions of tiny particles of mud or due to larger rocks banging against each other in the upward mud plume that generated a spark. This might have generated the fire that was reported, the dead fish, and a temporary large island out of ejected mud that has since washed away. However, the exact cause of this 1757 event is still inconclusive. I hope that if anyone else wants to attempt to further explore this mystery that they can use today's video as a form of reference. As a final note, I would like to thank my new patron Brian Redman for supporting this channel.